Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive. And today, we're taking it back to 2004 with Kanye West's debut album, The College Dropout. This wasn't just any album, though. It really shifted the whole landscape of hip-hop.
It did. Really did. I mean, think about it. Kanye was already this huge producer, you know, making beats for like Jay-Z, but there were a lot of people who didn't think he could actually be a rapper.
Yeah, it's not an easy transition to make from
Yeah.
producer to rapper. People definitely had their doubts.
For sure. And then you've got the car accident in 2002.
Oh yeah, the one where he almost died. I mean, that could have ended things right there for a lot of artists.
Absolutely. I mean, a near-death experience, like having your jaw wired shut, it's hard to imagine coming back from that.
But this is Kanye we're talking about.
Yeah.
Instead of giving up, he turns that whole experience into fuel,
Yeah.
inspiration. And that's how we get through the wire.
Right. Recording that track with his jaw still wired shut. Talk about resilience. Turning pain into art. It's pretty incredible.
It really set the tone for the whole album, too.
Oh, definitely. You can feel that defiant spirit throughout the album, starting with We Don't Care. He's tackling these huge issues like poverty and inequality, the system that's stacked against Black youth. But he does it with this ironic humor. It's almost celebratory.
There's that one line, we wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Joke's on you, we still alive. It's like the perfect mix of defiance and triumph.
Exactly. It's social commentary, but it's witty. You're thinking while you're nodding your head.
Yeah.
Classic Kanye. And then he switches it up and all falls down.
It gets really personal. He's talking about his own materialism, his flaws. He's not afraid to admit he's not perfect.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to himself and saying, hey, I'm part of the problem too. It's raw and honest. And that line about buying your way out of jail but not being able to buy freedom, that's powerful.
It really is. And then you have Spaceship, which I think speaks to anyone who's ever felt trapped in a dead-end job. Dreaming of something more. It's that feeling of being undervalued,
Yeah.
wanting to escape.
And the way he uses that Marvin Gaye sample in Spaceship, it adds this layer of melancholy. It does. Right. You can hear that longing in the music.
The frustration,
Yeah.
the hope, it's all there.
It is. And speaking of defying expectations, we've got to talk about the skits throughout the album. They're not just random, they're intentional.
Yeah, they're like these little jabs at the idea that a traditional education is the only way to be successful. It's
Yes.
like he's saying, screw that, follow your passion.
Exactly. He's questioning everything we're supposed to believe about success. And then there's Jesus Walks. Maybe the most groundbreaking track on the album, maybe even in hip-hop history.
You talk about how he brings his faith into the music at a time when that was pretty much unheard of in mainstream rap.
Right. I mean, think about it. It was a bold move. Was it worth the risk? I think so. It paid off big time.
So it wasn't just about religion. It was about being vulnerable, being open about your beliefs and your struggles.
Mhm.
You just didn't hear that kind of honesty in hip-hop back then.
And the production on that track, the gospel choir, the drums, so powerful, so moving.
Absolutely. We could talk about every song on here. But I think it's important to look at the big picture, too. This album has a ton of features. Jay-Z, Common, Mos Def, so many others.
It's true. He brings in all these different voices. But it's not just about the names. It's about how he weaves them together to create this rich soundscape.
And of course, we can't talk about The College Dropout without talking about the production. Kanye's style is all over this thing.
It's that blend of soul gospel and these really creative samples. He takes these classic records and turns them into something completely new.
You get that warm, nostalgic feeling in tracks like Family Business,
Yeah.
but then you have the high-energy party vibes of Get 'em High. It's like this sonic journey.
And then we end with Last Call, a 12-minute track. That's basically Kanye's autobiography in song form.
It is. He's telling his whole story.
Yeah.
The ups and downs, the struggles, the victories. It's full of gratitude, humor, honesty. The perfect way to close out an album that's all about defying expectations.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a reminder that you got to work for it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. You got to believe in yourself, even when everyone else doubts you.
The College Dropout is more than just an album, though. It was like this cultural moment.
It really was. I mean, it debuted at #2 on the Billboard 200.
Not bad for a debut.
Yeah.
Not at all. And it won a Grammy for Best Rap Album.
But its impact goes way beyond the charts and awards.
For sure. It broke down all these stereotypes about what a rapper could be.
It showed that you could be introspective, vulnerable, playful, and still be a huge force in hip-hop.
Exactly. It pushed the boundaries of the genre. It proved that hip-hop could be just as diverse and complex as the artists making it.
And it still feels relevant today, almost 20 years later. Why do you think that is?
I think it's because those themes, ambition, struggle, finding your own path, those are timeless. They speak to anyone who's ever felt like they don't belong, or who dared to chase a dream that everyone else told them was impossible. Yeah. I think there's something about Kanye's willingness to be vulnerable in his music that really connected with people.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He wasn't afraid to be honest about his struggles, his insecurities.
You made it okay to be yourself,
Yeah,
to embrace your flaws.
exactly. And that was huge, especially for young people trying to figure out who they are.
The College Dropout was like this declaration that it's okay to be different, to question everything, to forge your own path.
It celebrated individuality, creativity, and the power of following your dreams. It showed what hip-hop is capable of, not just reflecting culture, but shaping it.
It wasn't just about music. It was about a cultural shift. How do you think this album changed things outside of the music world?
Well, it made people question the status quo, their ideas about education, success, even masculinity. I mean, Kanye was redefining what it meant to be a man in a culture that often values toughness over everything else.
It definitely opened the door for a whole new generation of artists who were inspired by his fearlessness and authenticity.
Artists who felt empowered to tell their own stories, to break down barriers, to be themselves.
And that's the real legacy of the College Dropout.
Yeah.
It continues to inspire people, to remind us that anything is possible if you're willing to dream big and be true to yourself.
So now that we've explored this album together, what stands out to you the most? What parts of it resonate with you?
Is it the music itself?
Yeah.
The themes? The impact it had on hip-hop culture? Or something else entirely?
Yeah. Think about what this album means to you personally, how it connects to your own experiences.
Because music is such a powerful force.
It is. The College Dropout is a perfect example of how music can change lives, change perceptions, inspire generations.
It's true. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we want to leave you with the question: what other albums or artists have had a similar impact on your life?
What music has shaped the way you see the world, your beliefs, your understanding of everything around you?
These are questions worth thinking about as you continue to explore this amazing world of music. After all, it's a huge world out there, just waiting to be discovered, ready to make its mark on you.
That's right. Keep those ears open. Keep exploring. Keep diving deep into the music.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the College Dropout.
Yeah, it's been a journey unpacking all the themes, the impact, the legacy.
But before we go, we want to leave you with one last thing to think about.
Okay, shoot.
How did Kanye's willingness to be so vulnerable in his music contribute to the album's success and to its lasting impact?
That's a good question.
Think about it. His honesty, his openness about his struggles, his hopes. It's what made him relatable. It's what allowed him to connect with listeners on this really deep level.
He really did challenge that image of the rapper as this invincible figure.
Right. He paved the way for a more authentic and introspective style of hip-hop.
Definitely. So as you go back and listen to The College Dropout, or really any music, pay attention to that vulnerability, that honesty, that rawness in the artist's voice.
Yeah. You might be surprised how much it resonates with you, how much it reveals about the human experience.
It's true. That's the beauty of music. It's a universal language. It connects us all.
So keep exploring, keep listening, keep diving deep into the world of music.
Absolutely. Until next time.
Keep those headphones on and those minds open